My name is Nina Bisbee. I graduated in Penn State with a Bachelor of Science in Landscape Architecture in 1981. And I most recently have been working for 25 years at the Philadelphia Zoo as the Vice President for Facilities Planning. And I get to help manage and design animal exhibits and landscapes at the Philadelphia Zoo, which is a great experience. I think that landscape architects are really well positioned, both for their training, the sort of the interdisciplinary training and problem-solving skills that we get, as well as sort of the ethics. I mean, we've been thinking for decades about sustainable development and sustainable landscaping. And, when we first got out of school, nobody was interested in that. But now that those ideas have become more mainstream, I think landscape architects are sort of uniquely positioned. And the other emerging trend that I think we're positioned well for is placemaking, and really thinking about communities and the common spaces that sort of bind those communities together. And I think more communities are realizing that there's important, to the community. And again, our education there's a lot of technical pieces to it. But there's also a lot of analyticals. Like the design process is really a problem-solving process that can be applied to a lot of things. And because the training is so interdisciplinary, everybody kind of finds their niche. They find their passion, they find their talent. For me, it was more planning and analysis and problem solving, which is why I went on to get my graduate degree in urban planning. For others, it's really garden design and plant design, and for others, yet again, it's the engineering aspects, sort of solving the technical problems. So I think the education that get here at Penn State is really great in terms of exposing you to all of those things and allowing students to explore their interests. Thinking back on my experience here, I think mostly about the studio time that we had with Professor Battaglia, with Dan Jones, with Jim DeTurk. They really, really cared about us, you could tell. And actually, it amazes me to this day when you come back that they remember who you are. I mean, it's been decades since they've seen you, and they've seen how many students since you've been gone, and yet they remember who you are and what you did. And we had a lot of fun together. I mean, we had, the projects where we went on the site visits, we just had a really great time. It was really wonderful. And again, like the just sort of figuring out, they really gave great crits. And I think their criticism really helped not only with developing the project that you were working on, but I do think that it helped sort of sort through and helped me figure out really where my strengths were. And that, helped me kind of make my path. One of the things I'm most proud of is sort of the whole stormwater focus of our current master plan. It was, it really links to the zoo sustainability mission, but because of my background in land planning and landscape architecture, I could see an opportunity to really embrace that element of conservation in a way that I'm not sure would have happened otherwise in the context of the latest master plan that we did in 2010. So working with consultants that were really selected for that purpose, we really started to look at the site as a whole and what are the opportunities to manage stormwater more sustainably on our site. And it actually was an emerging issue with the city of Philadelphia too, so we were kind of on the front edge and really anticipated that. And so, the result of that work has really been a number of really wonderful rain gardens and stormwater infiltration beds, and actually that led into a lot of native plantings, which are really attracting native wildlife, beneficial wildlife to the zoo. So now when you walk around the garden, there's more butterflies, there's more bees, there's goldfinches out in our parking lot, and that's appropriate for a zoo to be creating habitat for local wildlife. And so that, those landscapes I'm really proud of. Awesome. I think that these are words of wisdom for everybody, really, and that is follow what you love. I mean, really explore different things and pursue the things that you enjoy doing, because those are the things you're going to be best at, and you never know where it will lead you. I never would have imagined that I would be working at a zoo. And I got there by just following my interests. And then the other thing I would say is that, your first job out of school, it may not be your dream job. So you have to have a little bit of patience. My first job out of graduate school, I was handed a bunch of reports to Xerox and collate. And my first thought was like, oh my gosh, is this what I went to graduate school for? And at the end of the day, somebody's got to do it. And you realize that, it's going to be the low man on the totem pole. It's nothing personal. And it wasn't that long before I was writing expert witness reports and doing planning and doing project management. So I learned a lot in that job. So you have to look at those initial, employment opportunities when you get out of school as learning opportunities.